So, are you one of those race fans who says every single weekend, what has F1 ever done for me? I watch the races, the same drivers win every week. I love Lewis Hamilton, but what's Lewis Hamilton doing for me? Well, this is what Lewis Hamilton did for you. This is the AMG C63 SE Performance. That's a mouthful and a lot to remember, but it is worth remembering when I tell you what this car is all about. So I have to tell you, this might be the ultimate car. And the reason it might be the ultimate car is because this was developed with F1 technology. What? F1 technology? Yes, you now can have F1 technology in your car. This is the new performance sedan from AMG, and it is all AMG except for one thing. It is not a V8. It is not a V12. It is a four-cylinder. And that is crazy. But what's even crazier? 671 horsepower. It's the most powerful four-cylinder car on the road. But it gets better than that. It is a twin turbo, and it has a turbo system that is what gives it all that power. So Mercedes has taken what they've learned from F1 and they've applied it to this sedan. They've added a plug-in electric hybrid powertrain that gives it somewhere around 200 horsepower added to the 470-ish horsepower from the four-cylinder gas engine, which is a lot of power for a four-cylinder gas engine, to deliver 671 horsepower. But of course, it gets better than that. I'm going to take you inside and show you not only Sport Plus, but race mode. There are a lot of visual cues that this is a performance car. It starts with the red brake calipers because these are performance brakes, and then these really sporty wheels and Michelin Pilot Sport S tires. And then there's a badge here that's worth noting, and that is the Turbo E Performance badge. First time Mercedes has ever had this on a car. You're used to seeing maybe bi-turbo or a different badge. This is the first time they've had this one with the E Performance. And then let me show you the rear of the car. Another signaler that this is a performance car is this C63S. Now, the name of the car actually is C63S E Performance, which we saw in that other badge, and that tells us the full name of the car. So it's C Series, AMG C Series 63, S for Sport, and then E Performance. Over here, you'll see the AMG badge, and then over on this side of the car is what you might think is a fuel door, but no, this is where you can plug it in. So this will take a level 2 charge if you would like to charge it. My guess is probably not many people will charge it. You're not really going to need to charge it because it recharges itself so well out on the road. The rear of the C63 SE is notable here. You'll see the badge here, but I also want you to notice this red color. Red means electric in Mercedes language. Some brands use blue or green. If you see a red badge, that means it's electrified. And then you'll see the AMG badge here, the Mercedes badge here. Quad exhaust tips. Remember, this is a gas-powered four-cylinder that is turbo. And then let's look at the trunk space because it is a four-passenger, five-passenger car, which means it is ideal or designed for touring and for road trips. And so we have a pretty nicely sized trunk here. I want to say there's probably a battery pack under here. There's a little bit of a hump in the trunk. So you might need a little maneuvering to get all the things in there that you need to get in there. But it definitely is a nicely sized trunk and ideal for everything that you need a trunk for. Golf clubs, strollers, luggage, extra shopping bags from the outlet mall, they'll fit. Where you can put all 671 horsepower to work, but really you need to do that on a track. Good thing, that's what this is designed for. So this is a luxury car. $84,000 is the starting price. Our model has the Pinnacle package. It has the Napa leather upgrade, has a lot of upgrades. So the out the door price is something just a hair over $100,000. Not entirely unexpected in a car like this. Now I will say it still has 20-ish mpg is the estimated fuel economy. That also isn't a surprise. Even though it's a four-cylinder and even though it's a hybrid, That 4-cylinder and that hybrid are designed for performance, not for fuel savings. But I want to show you what else you get for your 100 grand in this car. So pardon me while I start it up. And there you go. There's that roaring engine. Well, I have to put it in sport mode to get the engine to roar, and it will if I do that. But I'm not going to do that right now because I'm talking to you. And I want to show you some things. So first of all, let's talk about this interior design. It is very premium. You can see there's a nice panel here with our door controls, locks, and the door handle is there. And it actually is completely surrounded in ambient light. And then you can choose, there's I think 4 or 5 different interior packages of leather color. And then there are other treatments as well, the dash covers and things like that. So you have a lot of ways to customize the interior. There's a really nice door handle here that extends out. These really beautiful Burmester speaker covers here. You'll see them here. You'll see them on the door panels. You'll see them in the back as well. Really beautiful. This really pretty gloss black console here, and then carbon fiber. So this whole dash is covered in carbon fiber. You've got carbon fiber here, and then the classic S-style multimedia system here in the center. There are turbine-shaped vents here. There are 5, 3 here and 1 on either side. And then there's a nice console here as well. So everything that you need is at your fingertips and easy to reach and easy to see. That's the whole idea in a luxury car, is that you have the luxury of having everything at your fingertips and everything in easy reach. But let's talk about what we see here on these screens. On the multimedia screen, which there's also a lot of driver controls here, on the driver display screen, where there's a lot of controls here, and then we have our drive mode selector here, and then we have some customization here as well. This is where we can choose between manual and automatic. We can add sound from the engine to feed back into the engine or back into the compartment. We can turn off traction control. We can, oh, there we go. There she is. There she is. We can do a lot of different things with this, setting up active damping and some other things. I'll walk through that in a minute, but let's talk about this. So right now we are in comfort mode, and here are our drive modes right here. So we have comfort, B or battery. Individual is here. Slippery, or the snow setting, is there because this is an all-wheel drive sedan. Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Race. And Race mode actually also has a boost function that allows you to choose your performance track. So think Nürburgring, think Laguna Seca, think Road America. You can actually pick the track that you want and then have the system will then optimize its boost for that track based on where you are on the track. That's not something I got to try out, so I can't really tell you much more about that, other than if you're ever going to take this car to a track, that's the way to go. That sounds really cool. Then they have coordinated these buttons here, these dials and buttons here with these here. So you can even see there is like the red sport mode and the checkered flag here in the middle of this dial. So if you accidentally dial to race mode, everything will tell you that you are in race mode. While I'm in race mode, if I want to, I can actually dial between drive, or that's automatic, and manual. So if I tap this, I'm now all in manual mode. I have to use paddle shifters. If I tap this again, I'm in automatic, and the transmission, which is a 9-speed transmission, will do the shifting for me. That is pretty sophisticated. And now let's go back to Sport Plus and Sport, and you'll notice the engine gets a little quieter. And then when we go into electric mode, which is what we are here in all electric mode, it's really quiet. Let me turn down this fan just a little bit. This is a plug-in electric hybrid, and there is a battery that gives you about 8 miles of range when you're at 100%. This is not really intended for battery electric driving. It's intended, the battery power is intended to give you that 671 horsepower. It's about 200 horsepower from the electric motors, all told. That is added to the horsepower that's produced by the gas engine. Well, you could see how many miles of electric power you have here, and you can actually watch this regenerate as you use the whichever mode you're using. So if you're in sport mode, it will regenerate after, like, fully replenish that battery after about 30 or 40 miles of driving. You don't have to go very far and you will replenish all of that battery power. That's what we did today. I kept thinking I would let the battery run down and then try to replenish it or try to drive on all electric, and you won't really think about that. My prediction is people who buy this car will never plug it in because they'll never have to. The system will recharge the battery for you to give you not only that boost, but all electric driving if you would like. It has about 8 miles of all electric driving. Another thing that's nice to know about this hybrid electric system is it's designed to reserve power so you always have some for that electric boost. When you get into sport mode or sport plus, or if you do put it in race mode, it's going to recharge and hold some of that electric power for you so that when you need that boost, you always have it. Another thing that we don't always find with plug-in electric hybrids. The price of this car, as outfitted, panoramic sunroof, leather interior, all of this technology, about $84,000. For a performance sedan, that's expensive, but it certainly is not over the top, and it's not the most expensive that you can get. But you do get a lot of features and a lot of great performance for $84,000. So what else do you get? You get the, hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
Would you turn on the driver's side vented seat?
I'm switching on the seat ventilation on the driver's seat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love a polite voice assistant. And that's the great thing about the Mercedes system. So I don't have great connectivity here, but it'll tell you a joke. It'll look up facts. It'll do math. It'll answer questions. Whatever it is you can think of, ask the Mercedes system, because most of the time it'll be able to help you. Sometimes it can turn on massaging seats, sometimes it can't. That is an option in this car. Sometimes it can change the ambient lighting, sometimes it can't, but that is a good thing. I did actually ask it to change the ambient lighting earlier and it was able to do that. So there's a lot of great function here. And this screen is your multimedia screen. So yes, there's a lot of driver feedback here, but there's also all the basics that we're used to. So this looks very familiar. If you've driven a Mercedes in recent years, this will look very familiar. There's our comfort. Here's our seat kinetics. So we don't have full massaging seats, but we do have somewhat massaging seats. So I can turn this on and it will sort of lift and lower different portions of the seat so that you don't lose blood flow or feeling as you're sitting in the seat for a long drive. This is a touring car. It's intended not just for the track, but also for daily driving and comfort. Then there are the typical apps. You can connect your phone for Apple CarPlay, vehicle settings where you can turn on or off the voice assistants. Let's see, there is vehicle, and the voice assistant is in here somewhere. I was playing with it earlier. Let's see if I can find it really quickly. Voice assistant here, so you can turn on or off the Hey Mercedes, and then you can actually even turn on direct commands. So if you just say, Hey Mercedes, blah, 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 it will do that for you, which is really nice. There are two different ways to access the drive modes. One is you can tap this panel here, and then you can scroll through the one that you want, which is a great thing for your co-pilot to do when you say to your co-pilot, hey, we've been driving in battery, but put it in sport mode, sport plus. You can also manage it with this dial right here on the steering wheel. That's the other way to manage your drive modes. And then I want to show you what else is on this panel down here. There is a full camera system, so you can select your view, which is a really nice detail. I love having the full surround camera, especially if there's, parking is an issue, or if there's someone around you and you want to know what's around your car, you can do that. And then you can also get parking assistance. So if you tap this, drive forward, and it will identify a parking spot and park the car for you. This is your battery charging. Your vehicle settings are right here. And so this is where you tap this and you can quickly get to any of the driver assist and safety systems. So auto lanes change, head-up display. You can turn that on or off. Car wash mode, a great one. What that's going to do is turn off all of the sensors and anything that might hold you up from driving through a car wash with all the technology that's on these cars. Let's see, interior protection, tow away alarm. So if someone's going to tow your car and they start to hook the car up, you'll get a notification and an alarm. So a lot of really great functions here. And then our emergency flashers. I want you to notice this little guy right here, and I'm going to show you what that does. This is a fingerprint sensor, so you can actually set this up to recognize your fingerprint to drive the car. You can turn the display off or on with that, and then this is the volume. So if you want to know where the volume is in this car, it's here, and then there's also a slider here on the steering wheel. And these are sliders, so that's how you control it, and these are the two places to do that. So when you get in this car and you're like, where's the volume button? There's no button, there's no dial. There's a slider there and a slider here. But let me show you this. This is a really cool feature. And that is, where do I put my phone and where is the wireless charger? Well, Mercedes did a pretty cool thing. The wireless charger is way down in here. And actually, if I turn my phone this way and pop it in there, I can actually see that it's charging. I can see the green battery light and the little lightning bolt for charging. There also are two USB ports in here. Now, I will say, I have pretty slender hands. If you have really big hands, this might be kind of hard to reach. So it might be worth just leaving your phone in the wireless charger and letting it do its thing there. There also are really nice cup holders here and a little spot where you could put maybe a second phone right there, or your key. Under here, there are two more USB ports and a really small console. I love the panoramic sunroof, but I also like having the screen, especially on a hot day like this. And I love that just very easy slider to open and close it. And I don't know if you can see this, but there is ambient lighting throughout the car. The ambient lighting is really easy to change. You can see here where all the lighting is, and then you can change the color. So if I want pink, I can change it to pink. If I want purple, I can change it to purple. And then you can actually personalize all of this. And the system will remember that you like red light at night and blue light in the morning, and you want this radio station in the evening and this radio station in the morning, or that you like the active seats on when you get into the car all the time. That's something I would leave on all the time. Or it can remember that you prefer to drive in comfort mode or battery mode. Whatever your preferences are, the system will remember that at a very deep level, and you'll also be able to customize it for yourself and for your co-driver. So say your husband drives the car on certain days, or maybe he drives it on the weekends, you drive it during the week, he can customize it, and when he gets in the car, the system will recognize him and set everything for his preferences. It used to be just the seat and the mirrors, now it's everything. But of course, this is a 4-door, 4 or 5 passenger car, and it is comfortable for 4 people. So let me show you what we have in here. You see me touching this because the part of the sunroof is over the rear seat, which is a really nice detail. How's the leg room? Well, this seat is set for me and I'm 5'8". I've got plenty of leg room. You know what else I have? I have ambient light down here in the footwell. So I have set this light to this purple light. You'll see it here around the this frame where the door handle is and the speakers are. You'll see that ambient light there. I see it in the footwell. I can see it on the upper console there. So that's a really nice detail. It adds a really lovely feeling to the cabin. You'll see that there are air vents here. There's just a little shelf there. You can't really put much there. And there are 2 USB ports here. One of the details that's just really nice is the USB ports are surrounded by the same ambient light. So sort of a blue light. Maybe it's not the ambient light, but it's got blue light surrounding those USB ports. So you can see them in the dark, which is a nice feature. There we go. So there are double cup holders here if you need them. And there's actually a little spot here. I don't think that that's going to be big enough to hold my phone. No, not big enough to hold a phone. I'm not sure what you would put in there, but Nonetheless, there's a spot there, and then the armrest, which is really comfortable. And then there are dual ISOFIX child passenger car seat latches. There's a set here and a set there. And then there's actually the upper tethers, there's 3, in case you needed to put a car seat in the middle. I'm not sure this is exactly the car that I would choose for putting kids in car seats, but if you need to, you can, which is a nice detail. This is a beautiful car for touring, for road trips and things like that. It's got a nice sized trunk. It's very comfortably sized, but the real point of this car is sport driving. And I would say if you're going to sport drive, don't do it with passengers in the back seat because they may feel a little nauseous. This car is that much fun. Mercedes loves to do everything their own way. They don't call this a spoiler, they call it an air lip or something like that. They don't like to call it twin turbo, they like to call it bi-turbo. This is e-performance. But what Mercedes has done is they have, after all of their years investing in F1, investing in turbo technology, investing in hybrid technology, given you that performance out of a 4-cylinder engine. That's crazy. 671 horsepower out of a 4-cylinder engine. Insane. Worth it? Absolutely. The AMG C63 SE Performance can be your slice of F1 in your driveway.